90-day streets. The streets that never sleep, just like Wall Street. But hey, listen, folks, we're going to cover everything that went down on 90 Day Fiance, The Last Resort, Between the Sheets, as well as also 90 Day Diaries. So let's not waste any more time and let's begin with Cara and G. What has Cara got to say regarding her scenes and what has G got to say regarding their scenes, obviously, of this week's episode, as well as other cast members?
Up, and I made more money.
You really truly don't care about other people's opinions. So that's amazing. I love that.
You know, you sit down and you have to sit with yourself and say, okay, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it with my whole heart.
I love it.
Okay, so just to give you guys a little bit of feedback or a little bit of background, shall I say, on this matter in particular. So this is after the steam came out when Cara pretty much said, yeah, I'm online and you know, I'm on it because I have to make money to be able to provide for our child. And this is obviously regarding OF. And it's crazy because the topic itself in particular has become a big topic with G simply because originally she said she was only going to sell pictures or videos of herself with her still being clothed. But obviously now things have developed to the point where she's now selling the complete naked body. But not just the naked body, but also videos. And also from what I understand, based on the topic they were talking about on that table, these videos also involve her getting a toy and putting it up the area where we release our foods after we've digested. Yes. What a beautiful, beautiful thing, folks. But let's continue.
A family member had a video, so it was leaked. Just go online and you can find them. And watch the video before I watch them.
Oh, goddamn. What do you mean in the comments?
To be honest with you, I would hate to be in G's position. Imagine your family members have seen photos, maybe even videos, of the woman that you're married to, the woman that you decided to have a child with. Oh boy, their embarrassment. Nuts. Of course, your family would be inclined to intervene, to be honest. When I say intervene, I always feel like when you're in a relationship with somebody, nobody should be allowed to get involved unless you ask them a question. But you know how sometimes you're in a relationship with somebody and people give you unwarranted advice all the time, unwarranted opinions all the time, and like, but I didn't ask you though. Stay out of my business. But then there's sometimes there is the exception. And I'm not going to lie to you. If I was in the same position as G and I found out, you know, if I knew G, and I found out that his missus was doing this, 100% I'm coming up to him saying, bro, I cannot respect you moving forward if you stay with this woman. Because this is a calamity. I now know what your woman looks like. I should have known what your woman looks like undressed. You see what I'm saying, bro? But anyway, we continue.
In the how do you say it?
Caption?
It's like to see that from the person that I used to
It's
say.
my manager.
Manager is obsessed with your butt.
What you
So here's the thing, of course, he's obviously now expressing that he's not happy with the fact that what the captions say. The captions are obviously saying that this is what you're going to get if you sign up to my page, if you pay the subscription or whatever it is that you pay. And obviously Sarpa, as you can see, has been he's been keeping an eye on Cara's content clearly because he knows that every single one of them mentioned something with her butthole. If I was Shekinah, I'd be sitting there thinking, how often do you check her page? In fact, let me see your bank details, your bank record, sorry. I want to see if you've been paying to see these things. In fact, let me see your history online. Have you been searching for the leaked ones? All I'm saying, Sarpa had a lot to say, to be honest with you, in this episode and the previous episode regarding, you know, Cara's OF account. But either way, though, let's continue.
she's doing is wrong. She have a child, and he's lost respect for her.
I mean, the child hasn't lost respect just yet, but when the child knows, he's gonna. Wait, did they have a boy or girl? Yeah, it's a boy, isn't it? Yeah, that boy is gonna lose respect. The same way that father has also lost respect for her. And to be fair, last week there was that question where G pretty much came out to say that he basically regrets having a child with Cara, that he's not proud of Cara. And Cara took offense to that. And so did other people. Some people took offense to him saying that. But at the same time, though, if you can't respect the person you had a child with, I can understand why you feel the way you feel. And also on top of that, once your child grows up and your child finds these things out and then you find out your child doesn't respect you as well, I mean, the baby daddy or the baby mother not respecting you doesn't really matter too much if you're no longer together. But also respect would be beneficial if you still had it. But even if you're not together, respecting each other would still be great. You see what I'm saying? But your child not respecting you? Oh, that's a whole other situation.
Tell her, here's some money so that you don't have to go do that online. Then how can you criticize her right now for doing that?
You guys sound like all of you can be bought.
You know, at first when Patrick said this whole statement about you all sound like you all can be bought, I said to myself, this guy is really projecting himself. And I still truly do believe that everything that he said here was based on him projecting himself. But upon seeing this scene again on the last, on Between the Sheets, I sat there and said to myself, do you know what? He's actually got a point here. Even though I still believe he's projecting, he's got a point that he actually doesn't know that he's making, potentially. And the point that I believe here that I've clocked on and realized is that if Cara was more than happy to go online and sell images of herself, videos of herself, that means if a man was to come in and have the right bank account, then that means clearly she'd be more than happy to potentially be with that guy, which therefore would back up what he's saying about you can all easily be bought. The fact that she kind of sat there and decided to say, well, she wouldn't have to go online to sell images of herself if G gave her money. So that's her. So basically, she's still pimping herself out, right? So being with somebody that's got money is the same as going online, or similar as going online and selling images yourself, because both of them involve pimping yourself out. Because one, you're choosing to be with someone because of their money, so you pimp yourself out to that person. You are now that person's escort. I'm with you because I like your money. In that case, come baby, you're now my escort. You're just an escort that I may marry. An escort that may have my children, that's about it. You see what I'm saying? And it's the same similar thing as, well, if I haven't got a man to pay the bills or whatever, then I'm just going to go sell my body online anyway. Difference is that person can't physically touch me, but I'm still escorting my image to that person. So to be fair though, he's got a point. Maybe he's got a point when he came at Shikana and said, it sounds like you can all be bought. What do you think of that? What do you think of where I've gone with that? Interesting. Give me your thoughts, please.
If Guillermo was rich,
My boss wouldn't be on the internet.
right? That's why I
What
make
was
a
your
lot of money.
perspective? Like, made light of it at the table. And he was like, oh, I can't believe it's so disrespectful. Why is she laughing about it? Maybe he wants me to be like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed and ashamed and I'm so sorry. Like, it's wanted to publicly humiliate me. And when I didn't feel that way, he got upset. And it makes him upset that he can't make me feel bad.
To be fair, I do thoroughly believe this to be true though. I do believe that he does get upset if he can't make her feel bad about her actions. Which I can understand him being annoyed with the fact that she can't be made feel bad for her actions, and given if her actions truly are the wrong actions. And this is where things get subjective for some people. Some of us say, yes, she was definitely wrong for actions by selling her body online, and therefore she should feel a certain type of way about it. But then some people may say, well, at the end of the day, it's her body. She can do whatever she wants to do, and if that's how she wants to live her life, well, then so be it. Who am I to judge? Who am I to have an opinion? So it really depends on what perspective you're coming at when it comes to Cara's choices in her life as a mother. Not as just a woman, but as a mother, which is where things can definitely become so much more different when you're really thinking about, somebody's actions, if you know what I mean. But again, give me your thoughts. But I still do believe that G has an issue with, when Cara doesn't feel some type of way. And I feel like sometimes it's warranted, but sometimes I'm like, now I feel like you're purposely trying to trigger this woman for a reaction. But either way though, definitely want to know your thoughts on the matter itself in particular. But now we're going to move on to the next one here, and this one's all about Paola and Russ.
At the beginning, it was him, but for me, it was hard even. He gave me a credit card, but for me, it was hard to even use it. Remember, the first gift for Christmas, I have 2 gold rings that someone gave me, and I sold them to be able to buy him my ring with.
Okay, so Paula's letting us know that when she first was with him, she didn't really want his credit cards, but had to have them because the money from the credit cards wasn't exactly hers, it was his. Which is kind of funny because technically speaking, the money that we get from credit cards isn't anyone's. It's not ours anyway. We're borrowing it because we still have to pay it back regardless. But either way though, I do understand what she's saying. So therefore, when it came to actual gift itself in particular, instead of using the credit card, she went and sold things so therefore she can buy something from her own money to make herself feel better about herself, knowing that she treated her man properly. I can respect it, but there's layers to this.
My own money, with my own money, because I didn't want to buy him a gift for Christmas with his credit card. So I sold my rings.
Paola wants a real man. She wants a man that's going to take care of her and make her feel like a woman and not make her feel like a provider. And
does Paola want a real man? The easy answer would have been, yeah, she wants a different type of man. She wants a man that's a man that already has his ducks in order. He's really got that masculine energy that therefore allows her to always be in her feminine energy. So therefore she doesn't have to step into that side of things. But this is where things get a little bit interesting, folks. When a woman has been in her masculine energy for too long, has been independent for too long, women can find it hard to not be that person anymore. So when they do meet somebody who is ready to step in, allow them to tap into their feminine energy. Some women struggle with that. So some women end up actually making home with being with the man that puts them in that masculine energy. Because you see, when they're in that position, it gives them control. It means that they're in control of many, many things. For example, they could be in control of when we book a holiday, I'm going to choose where we're booking, I'm going to choose where we're staying, I'm going to choose this, that, and the other. When it comes to the bills, okay, I'm the one who's going to organize all the bills. Okay, our salaries go in this account. Let me organize what's being paid for this, this, and the other. So sometimes some people get comfortable and get used to responsibility. And let's be real, women do like responsibility to a certain degree, right? But when you tap into that masculine energy, that means obviously at that point, your responsibility levels go higher than what you like, because there's certain responsibilities that you say traditionally a man should take in and ones that a woman should take in, right? But in today's world, I've noticed that when a woman has been in a relationship for too long with a man that she has had to be masculine with, she will struggle to leave that man because of the comfort of having that control. But also at the same time, we'll struggle to then find another man, because another man comes in who has all the qualities, but then doesn't know how to accept him. So therefore, they can potentially even self-sabotage. So my point being is, she kind of says that she obviously wants a real man. And I don't know what that means, real man. I mean, I do know, but let's just... Now, she kind of is not wrong in what she's saying, but the answer isn't as simple as my point. My point is that I reckon the reason why Paula sticks around is because she enjoys that she can get away with speaking to him the way she speaks to him. You know, she can get away with so many things. Yes, she's annoyed with him. Yes, she gets frustrated with him. But at the same time, it's the power, the control. It therefore overshadows the cons that comes with him. Do you see what I'm saying? And also, Paula probably knows at the same time that some of his actions and the way he behaved is down to herself. She probably knows deep down, or not even deep down, but she knows that he is the way she is because of the things that she's requested from him in the past. And this is where things get very interesting. So I can't say that I 100% agree that she wants to be with a different type of man. I do feel like she's weighed the pros and cons, and she prefers the pros and cons of this current relationship. And if she was to lose this man, I feel like she'd probably find it very hard to find another guy. And even if she did find another guy, she'd probably end up wanting to go with somebody else that's exactly similar to him, because she's so used to that control. Give me your thoughts, please. Give me your thoughts, because that's where I'm at the moment.
Apologized, and we made love. So
That was not make love, Russ. That was not make love.
that's how I think of it.
That was sex. That was just sex. I was horny and I
Oh, my apologies. I know I was on mute. My bad. I just panicked because, malfunction. But listen, folks. I'm going to say this to you now. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you're unable to identify when you're having intimacy, when you're having simply sex to that person compared to having actual love with that person, if you can't identify the two, that is a problem. It really exposes how vanilla you may be. Really exposes how you just enjoy just the principles of just having sex, but you don't actually understand the powers of it. When you understand the powers of it, the connection behind it, that's when you're able to identify the difference between love, making love, and just doing it. Russ, what a sad man in this situation.
needed to get it out. That's it. Oh, he always thinks he's making love to me, always. But he's so sweet, though. Russ is one like me. I'm like, no, that was sex. Shut up.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's clear to me as day that Paula could definitely would be beneficial if she was with somebody else, but at the same time, she's comfortable with the control that she has, with the power that she has. The power in the relationship is what's made her stay, and it's what's going to make her continue staying. If this relationship is ever going to end, it's going to be Russ is the one that finally walks away. Always you have to do something so significant that she's going to have to leave him no matter what. But right now, she's staying put. She's been there for long enough anyway. But now we're going to move on to Patrick and Tice.
Have excessive masturbation desire where you have to stop in the middle of the day, go to the bathroom and masturbate? Yes.
We stayed in his sister's house before go to the castle.
12:30 a.m.
He was watching something and doing joking for days. Imagine if I'm watching another man video and I'm there joking myself. It's not right. It's bad for your marriage. If you want a healthy and long marriage, don't do that.
Well, we do know that their marriage is definitely coming to an end because divorces have been filed on both accounts. We do know that. If you haven't seen those videos regarding the current divorce situation happening with Patrick and Thais, please do check them out. The most recent video actually talks about it as well. You know, I have a rule. Actually, if I say that, for me personally, I'm not really massive into, you know, pleasuring myself personally. I find it rather depressing, to be fair. In my mind, I'm like, if I got to pleasure myself, does that mean that I can't find a woman to actually, you know, have fun? What the hell's going on here? So for me, but point being is that before I even had this mentality, when I was in my long-term relationship beforehand, I had a rule where if you're in a relationship with somebody, you shouldn't have to play with yourself. If you're playing with yourself whilst you're in a relationship with someone, that says a lot about your relationship. Yeah. Do what you will with that information. Do what you will with that information, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the thing that's just wrong. But I'm speaking for men. I can't speak for women. I'm speaking for men. Men, if you're in a relationship with your woman and you still feel the need to have to play with yourself, that's a problem. Now, this may be subjective, but I would say subjectively, some people may even argue and say that a man that plays with himself whilst in a relationship may be worse than a man that's actually playing with somebody else. Think about that one. Think about the layers behind that one. And I'm looking forward to reading your thoughts on that. Yeah, think about the layers on that one. Why it could be worse? Both these are bad as each other, but you get the gist. But now let's move on to what happened on 90 Day Diaries. And we're going to begin with Corey and Evelyn. And this one here, oh boy, divorce is about to happen again. Let's have a look.
Evelyn has gone and locked herself in the bedroom. She's very upset that I told her that we will be staying here in my mom's house for the full 3 years and not just for the 3 months like she was originally expecting.
That's not cool, bro. Lying to your woman.
What was that all about? What the heck? That was super rude, I feel like.
Like tricking me into things, because I'm pretty sure what I heard was you saying they were going to stay here for 3 years.
Yeah,
but why you didn't say that to me before we got here?
You wouldn't have even come.
I mean, so he admits that he literally lied to her. How sad. How sad. If you have to lie to your partner to get them to move somewhere, sometimes you could argue that maybe there are exceptions in life where you can tell, or not necessarily a lie, but you can leave out information, right? There's certain things, but sometimes you want to plan a surprise. So therefore, you can't be 100% transparent. I get it. But in these situations, these are life-changing situations. To not tell your person they're going to be living underneath their mum's roof, the same mother that they don't get along with, for said reasons. Nah, nasty work. Absolutely nasty work. But again, it says a lot about your relationship.
I guarantee you wouldn't have come. And that is for a fact. If you knew that we were going to be staying here, you wouldn't have come. And I know.
I can love you so much, but I don't love this. I want to move out of Washington.
I expect you to at least strive to adapt and get used to this. This is my home.
We know that obviously he left the USA to go to live with her, obviously, in her homeland. And the crazy part about it, she says, yeah, but your sacrifice wasn't the same as my sacrifice. Is that a subjective comment? I'll leave that down to you. But I will say this, though. There is a big difference between moving somewhere that has got lovely weather than moving somewhere where you're freezing. So I can understand her frustrations with the climate change. I can understand it. But is it a reason to not at least try? No. You can't use weather as a reason to not try. You can't even use location as a reason to not try. And let's be real. The only reason why it's now bothering her more is because she thought it was going to be 3 months. But that 3 months is now turned to 3 years. And to be fair, what if they had moved to the States in the summertime? Maybe the opinion would have been different, who knows? But of course, when you go from moving from sun to snow, thinking 3 months, okay, I can do that. But then you find it's going to be 3 years? Yeah. Corey has definitely not played his cards very well here.
This is where I came from. I went down to Ecuador, but I uprooted my entire life to be this.
I refuse. I'm going to have to get out of here. But I'm so sorry. We're going to have to talk about divorce.
And now we're here talking about divorce. But the question is the divorce talk based on the fact that they've changed locations, or is it because of the fact that he has lied to her, misled her? It makes you then really wonder how many times lying has happened in this relationship. You see what I'm saying? Is divorce too far? Give me your thoughts. You know what? The more I think about it, I'm going to say maybe divorce is too far. No. Maybe divorce isn't too far. Because you've lied to her. She's had to move her whole life from Ecuador to America based on a lie. Some people may argue and say that's close enough to kidnapping. Call me dramatic, but you've misled me, right? Maybe that is grounds for someone to be like, you know, hey, that is a divorce. Maybe she's not being dramatic. Maybe you have a different perspective. Definitely want to hear your perspective. Let me know, please.
What about the relationship? Because if you only care about saving up money, you can also stay here alone, save up the money, and we can just be separated.
It's also
be living inside your mom's house.
well, that's it then. That's it. Like essentially, like if you're not willing to put forth the work and the effort, like I did, going to Ecuador, if you're not
I like the way you said the way like I did. Bro, like if you're in a relationship where now you have to compare with your partner, that is not good news. So you're obviously not going to put the work in like I did. I moved, so why can't you? Whew. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it makes sense to bring in comparisons and all that kind of stuff. But all I'm saying is, even when it makes sense to bring in a comparison to make a point, just understand, depending on what the comparison is, it tells you a lot about your relationship. Because in your relationship, comparison shouldn't really be a thing for the most part, especially in situations like these. Because therefore your relationship starts to become a relationship that is based on, well, I do this, what about you? Well, I do this, but what about you? Tick for tack, and it's like, what the hell? So yeah, that has to be considered, folks.
only do the same thing, then I want divorce. And that's it. You'll get your wish, you'll get your dream, you'll get what you've always wanted.
So right now, it seems to me as if they've decided to end the whole situation potentially on a divorce. I guess we have to, you know, pay attention to the social media platforms, and maybe we may hear something about a divorce happening at some point with these two. Do I believe it's going to get to the divorce part? Very unlikely, but we shall wait and see. But now we're going to move on to the last one. This one here is all about John and Meghan, also from 90 Day Diaries.
Sounds a little crazy thinking that it possibly couldn't be mine. Well, you gotta hear me out now. I've been on testosterone for the last few years, you know, because my energy was low, and you know, gonna drop the sperm count. And
I actually didn't know that being on TRT can actually allow you to drop your sperm count. That is very, very interesting. Maybe I should jump on TRT because, boy, I don't want no little kiddies around here. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just kidding. I don't believe in any of these PEDs performing. No, I ain't got time for that. I'm don't get me wrong. If there's a time when my testosterone goes low and I need to get TRT, I gotta do what I gotta do. You know what I mean? But your boy, nah, I look after myself. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, with that being said, though, obviously for the people who don't know, last week or the week before that on 90 Diaries, John came out to ask Meghan for a paternity test. Why? Because he's unsure if the baby is his. And now he's explained to us why. And reason number one, oh, he's saying, well, I'm on TRT, I'm on testosterone, and that's meant to drop my sperm count, so it shouldn't really be me. But he's got other reasons as well. Let's dive into it.
quite frankly, at that time, our relationship wasn't doing very good at all. And we weren't even having sex.
And I feel like that's a very key reason there. If you know you wasn't even intimate with your partner and somehow they're now pregnant, I can understand why it would raise an eyebrow and why you would need answers. Especially given the fact that there were so many men that raised kids who are not even theirs and they have no idea it's not even theirs. Which seems to be a more notorious thing in America. I haven't really heard about it in the UK as much, but in America I hear it all the time. God damn. What's you all doing out there? All you women, what are you doing out there cheating on your fellas? Do better.
Go over, doing a paternity test. It's not a end all be all 100% blocker, but I just think that, for me to be comfortable, a little paternity test, isn't going to.
Only calling me a hoe, but you are also calling me pretty much a sadistic person.
It's not.
At first, I didn't really think about that, to be honest with you, but she's got a very good point. The way he's talking is definitely putting her in a position where she's going to feel less than. Yeah, no, I can understand why she feels the way she feels, but at the same time, the man needs answers.
What about you?
Oh, it's not about me.
It's about the baby. Oh, I'm not calling you a hoe, all right? Not a hoe.
Yeah. You're trying to find an excuse to not be a father. Like, this is a child, and there is no room for excuses here.
Now, bear in mind, John has always said categorically that he does not want kids of his own. So therefore, I can understand why she believes that maybe he's doing this as an excuse to not be a father. And also, they're not married yet neither. They're just engaged. So who knows? Maybe my excuse just to get away from her. You never know. Especially given the fact that he said that they haven't even been intimate or around the time that she got pregnant. They were barely intimate anyway. The question is, where is their relationship now? Is their relationship now in a more healthy state or not?
Every day a man out there is paying for a child, supporting a child that he doesn't know it's not his. I don't want to be that 25% of it.
Just when I think he can't be any more of a dumbass, I realized that this guy ordered the wrong test.
Are you surprised?
Test, the so-called test. And the good thing that I found it ahead of time, it's a maternity test. It's very embarrassing he's doing it, and then he gets the wrong one.
Yeah, that's what happened. To be fair, obviously the percentage did come, but the results, they didn't reveal it. I think we have to wait for another episode. But let's be real, we all know that he's the father. We all know he's the father. Especially given the fact that on social media now we see them still together, raising their child. So we know he's the father. But it was very interesting journey though to watch, because he's still raising a very good point here. And this is something that I guess men need to be very wary of. If your woman gets pregnant, I don't think you ever be in the wrong to be asking for a paternity test, because you just never know in today's society, especially if you live in America, because that's where it seems to be happening the most. But just because you don't live in America doesn't mean you shouldn't do the same thing. You know what I mean? So please be careful. Be careful, man. Be careful. But with that being said, though, please do let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section and we can talk about it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'm definitely looking so much to your comments, and also hype the video on your way out. Thank you so much for your time.